Hey, what is going on? Man, it is time for the week in review, episode 1. So let's get on with this intro real quick, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stick around.
And now it's time for the week in review, episode 1.
All right, man. Yeah. Welcome to this first episode of the week in review. Yeah, man. I just decided to kind of do this for a few weeks here. And, leading up to the release of my short film, Trucker, if you're not aware of that yet, I've posted a little bit on social media about it. It's a short film that I'm working on. And, man, whew, I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. It's one thing to do I guess a vlog or something, but when you start talking about like a little independent film or whatever, and look, I'm totally new to all this stuff. I'm not a professional at anything, like I've said before. But it's it's something else, man. It's my phone is I'm filming everything on my phone. Again, if you're not aware of what I'm talking about, I'm trying to do a little short film on my own called Trucker. I do a series called Trucker as of right now. And I thought, man, it would be cool if I could do a little short film, this, along the same lines, right? So my my smartphone, I started filming a little over a week ago. I started filming clips and everything. And before you know it, I started getting a notification on my phone. It said,
Your phone is almost full of memory. Please reset.
what? And my phone, I think it come with 250 gigs, man, of space. And wow. So it doesn't take long. I just start putting stuff together and get things lined up and edited and save this part over here. Delete these videos over here. Come back over here. Did you still have these? Yes. Okay. Bring these over here. Connect it all together and everything else. And so it's fun. It's a challenge though. All right, we got a few people jumping in. Let's see what we got so far, man. Let's see here. We got let's see. Whoa, what happened? Bumbleist, there we go. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? It jumped on me. What's going on, Bumbleist? How you doing, man? Mr. Tim back trucking. What's up, Mr. Tim? He goes, just get robbed. He's a professional. Uh-oh. That's that's a recipe for disaster. Man, Mr. Jim Gidry, what's up, my brother? What's going on, Jimbo? How you doing, man? I talk with Jim every day, man. Jim is one of those people, man, that he's a great person. Anyway, what I'm saying is I've never had a chance to meet him face to face, and we've known each other for what, Jim? 13 years, something like that. It's something. 12, 13 years. And we did music together and did a couple of little small album projects together. And he's a good dude, man. Tim's a good guy. Mr. Tim says, just upload to your computer, then delete and keep going. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm wanting to do everything on the phone. I want to do everything on the phone. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first and the biggest reason is convenience. Everything is right there. And I use an app for all my video editing, and it's called Kenny Master, Kine, Master, all one word, and it's that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to edit your videos on your phone. Yeah, of course, I do have different editing software on my computer, and maybe later down the road, when if I decide to expand on these types of projects, I would definitely, move things to the computer. Like I said, this is my first venture in doing something like this, and so the phone is the way to go for me, right now. But yeah, eventually it will be moved to the computer on some later projects. I do have. I am, let's just say, without giving too much away, I do have a possible writing partner in the works for the next deal. We're just talking about it right now. It's not nothing definite yet, but talks have begun between me and my possible writing partner. Because doing this all by yourself, man, is rough. It's man, especially when you have to work. Jimmy Biter in the house. What's going on, my man? How are you doing? Mr. Tim Back says you may have to get a plug-in for your phone to add space. I think they have those, he says. Yeah, well, what I could do if I needed to do so would be to put I guess you call it like a SD card in the phone to add more space, because my phone, I have the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I've had this phone now for 3 years, I want to say 3 years, and like I said, it came with 250 gigs of space already. That's a lot, especially for a phone. So if I wanted to add more, there is a space on here I could. It's on the bottom right here. Somewhere you could pop it out. Yeah, up here you could pop it out with one of those little small pins, and I could put an SD card in it, and it would give me, a lot more space if I need it. So there's that option. But like I said, as of right now, I want to keep everything on the phone. But I did learn a trick with this Kenny Master video editing software on the phone. Kenny Master is great if you're trying to line up maybe 2 clips on your phone, all right? But then if it goes beyond that, it starts to be a pain in the you-know-what. So I figured out a little trick. I was like, okay, when you get, just say 2 clips, right? Let's say we get them together, get them edited, and let's say that one clip is like 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes or whatever. So then you want to go ahead and download that clip, save it to your phone, go back to Kenny Master, and delete that out of Kenny Master. So it not only does it free up space on your phone, it frees up the working space on that app. And then go back to your phone and re-upload what you just downloaded. It's kind of hard to follow, I know, but that way you can add more scenes to that. So what I'm doing is I'm stacking, right? I'm stacking just like with a multi-track audio device or a DAW or whatever. I'm stacking, and it doesn't lose any quality. So I just came across that. I was like, wait, what if I do this? And I tried it, and it worked. It's not designed to do that on its own, but if you kind of manipulate the system, it'll work. And I said, oh man, okay. It just makes it a little harder to edit everything together. Whereas on a computer, it would be a whole lot easier. But like I said, I'm doing everything on the phone right now, and it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm very happy with what's going on. What I've done. It's just like I said, when you're doing everything on your own, it makes it tough, man, because I don't have any dialogue with anybody else. I'm kind of carrying the weight all on my own. Let's see. We got Mr. Tim back saying some stuff. He says, yeah, exactly. They have the 1 terabyte SD card. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And who knows? I might end up doing that. The cool thing is, I'd like to upgrade my phone to the new Note series that's out now. Not the foldable kind. Not that. Those are ugly. But they do have a new Note series, and just their standard straight phone, and it has like cinema quality video if you want to do that. So it's all kind of stuff. It just depends on, do I want to jack up my smartphone bill? We'll get into that in a second. Mr. Tim, he says, I gotta go, man. I wanted to pop in and say hi. Hope you get it figured out. Looking forward to the movie, so never give up. You'll get it. You're a smart dude. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I don't know about that last part, but I appreciate it very much. Very kind of you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching some videos on YouTube a lot this past week as well. Man, I can't remember the channel name, or I would tell you. That's embarrassing. I can't remember. But this guy, this YouTube creator, he went to film school, and so he has a lot of knowledge, and he's talking about how to make an independent film, and the do's and don'ts of doing all that kind of thing. And I've been watching a lot of his stuff, trying to educate myself, if you will, on just certain things. And some of the things he brought up, as far as when you edit, and just basic things too, man, that I already had in my head, that I was like, wow, I'm glad I'm thinking on the same level as this cat, because just simple stuff like your audio. You want to make sure your audio isn't sketchy or bad. Let's see. Of course, try to get the best video quality you can. He said if you don't have fancy cameras to shoot with, he said use your phone, which I was already doing, because phones nowadays have pretty darn good quality for what they present. Stuff like that, man. I can't recall every little thing that he was talking about, but his little films, man, are the ones that I saw were between like 5 and 8 minutes, and his budgets are kind of go up and down. It depends. I mean, this guy has the time to go to locations and film. He'll scout out locations just like a regular movie, man. And I was like, well, I'm not doing all that, and I'm not getting that far into it. I'm doing good to film what I can right now. But he had one movie on there that was like over an hour long, and I watched the whole thing. It was really good. It's called Bad is Bad. That's the name of that, if you ever want to look something like that up. It was really good. And another small short film he did is called Will the Machine. Will, like somebody's name. W-I-L-L. Will the Machine. That was really good, too. And I was like, wow. So that's been very inspirational to watch stuff like that. And it kind of gives you a few ideas, man, on what to do. And, man, there's a lot that, I'll tell you this. When I first started to film a little over a week ago, I was filming everything here. And I had a lot of dialogue here, a lot of video here at the house. My wife was out of town. She was at her daughter's. She was wrapping that trip up. She was getting ready to head back in the next day or two. And I did a lot of stuff here. And then it came around to Sunday, and I was getting ready to head to work. So I was able to do a lot of filming with that. And then it got to where I started watching some of this back when I started to put stuff together, kind of what they would say a rough draft. And when I put everything together and I was watching, it was like 1 hour and 22 minutes. And I said, wow, that's long, man. That's long for a short film. That's a regular length of a just your regular film or whatever you want to call it. And I had to start slicing and dicing, man. I'd start cutting things out. I was like, man, like the stuff I was doing here, it had nothing to do with trucking. I was talking about stuff. I said, I could use that in just a regular vlog, man. That doesn't need to be in this, man. So I cut all that stuff out. And after all that was cut out, things were down to like 22 minutes. And I said, okay, we definitely need to add some more to that. So my goal is, if I can, my goal for the total runtime of the short film is I want to get 1 hour or right there at it. I'd say between 50 minutes and 60 minutes is what I'm shooting for. We'll see. I still have some more things to film, so we'll just see as we go along, you know. But so far, it's doing okay. You know, it's nothing. It's nothing perfect. This is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. I just was like, you know, what can I do for a subject matter? Well, started doing the trucker series, and then it just, like a light bulb went off. I said, why don't you do Trucker the movie, man? That would be cool, you know. And just a little inside thing here, Trucker the movie will be in color. It's not in black and white like the episodes are for the series. So this short film will be in color, and yeah, I think that makes it sets it apart from what I'm doing normally for the series. So it's pretty cool. So my next couple of ideas that I have that I'm trying to line up, hopefully I can get some of that knocked out tomorrow, and this coming week. So when all that's done, then I gotta start doing what they call post-production. You know, start going over everything again. Man, I've looked over the footage. I bet I've rewatched the footage I have so far probably, man, I couldn't tell you how many times. A lot. But it's just like anything else, man. The more that I watch it, I don't know why I'm holding my flip-flop in my hand. The more that I watch it, the more that I say, okay, I need to trim this out, and I need to do this, and okay, let me put this in here instead. And I think that's a good thing to a degree. You don't want to overdo stuff, but and like I said, you can be your own worst critic, you know, your own worst enemy with that stuff too. But the stuff that I've cut out so far, I'm glad I did. And I went back and thought to myself, okay, the footage that I've cut, can I use it for anything at all? Again, I went back to YouTube and was watching some videos, and it inspired me. And I thought, oh yeah, actually, I thought of this one on my own, believe it or not, which is very rare for me. Coming up with something on my own, but I said, man, you need to make a trailer. You need to make a trailer for the film. That's what you need to do. So I took that a lot of the footage that was cut. I made a trailer out of it, and I did show the trailer to one person in particular because his company is in the trailer. And I wanted to make sure that he was cool with that you know, he was all right with that, because I don't want to have nothing on there that, you know, somebody can say, well, I didn't okay that or whatever. So, but yeah, he was cool. So he has seen the trailer, and I think that makes two people that's seen it, because I had to kind of get the okay, you know. We got that, so they were very happy with the trailer, and like I said, I used the footage that was cut from the film to make the trailer. So it's cool, man. Music for the movie and the trailer, I will be using copywritten music, because I fought with that back and forth so much. I was like, man, I'd like to use my own music. I actually came in here last weekend and worked on a song, just completely. I mean, like I said, I just started from scratch. I come in here and got everything the DAW, all my interface, all that stuff turned on. The Head Rush Prime, and I started to come up with a riff just like you do with any song. And I bet I was in here for probably, man, I'd say, I know, over 3 hours. And I finally come up with something, and it was just an instrumental piece. And I said, man, I'd like to put this somewhere in the movie. That's what I wrote it for. So I haven't quite found a place for that yet. Like I said, when you're doing something like this, you have a lot of things going in different directions that you're trying to reel in and say, okay, don't forget to do this over here. You've already done this. Don't forget to come back over here to this original idea. You know, it's easy to lose your train of thought. So yeah, I came up with an instrumental piece, and I was very happy with it. And I was like, yeah, that's all right, man. I went ahead and got it recorded, got it mastered. So it's still sitting on the side. It's there if I want to use it. But for the trailer, it just came across better with a song that I picked out. It's, from the 80s. You know, it's just, that's my era of stuff. I mean, like I said, man, these videos I've been watching about trying to do this thing, the guy says, his main thing, he says, do the video or short film that you want to do. You know, be yourself. Put in there what you love. Put in there what gets you going. And, you know, I think it just really works for the trailer. I think it really works. And so I was like, okay, this little short film isn't going to get many views anyway. You know, if it gets over 1,000, I'll be very lucky. You know, but it's my first venture in this kind of deal, right? So I said, go ahead and just use some written music. I mean, it's the worst thing it can do. It can say it's not, you can't monetize it. Okay, big deal. You know, no problem. But so there's going to be some copyrighted, whatever you want to call it, music in the film and the trailer. No big deal. It's just kind of hard unless you really did quite a few of these things and started putting stuff out there and it started to gain a lot of momentum. Then I would say, yeah, do your original music. You know, that would make more sense. But right now, being my first time out the gate, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter as far as the music goes. But yeah, so I came in here and I started working on that piece. Let me back up though. Let me tell you this. This also happened this past week. Now, if you have a DAW or an interface and you love to record music, or even doing videos on YouTube, whatever, like I love to play live in here when I have a chance. So if you have any experience with a DAW, there's a couple of different avenues you can go down far as guitar effects, right? You can have a pedal board, which I have that. You can have an effects processor. I have that. Or you can use plugins on your DAW as well, okay? And I have very little experience with plugins on the DAW. So my first DAW was a PreSonus was my first interface, and I still have this. I'm going to the PreSonus 1810C right now, but the DAW is the what is it? What is it? Studio One. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And but on the Studio One DAW software, the plugins are already on. They're already there on the DAW, so you can only choose from what they give you as far as the onboard effects for your DAW. You can't bring in a plugin, I guess you call it a third-party plugin. It won't let you do that. But on the Cubase DAW and the Steinberg interface, it lets you bring in third-party plugins. So I had hey, Andrew Knox, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Andrew Knox in the house. What's up, Andrew? Thanks for being here, man. Andrew, great supporter of the channel. Thank you very much, Andrew, for being here. what was I saying? Yeah, so with the Cubase DAW, it lets you bring in third-party plugins. So my friend R2R3 Lockinut, if you're not familiar with his channel, check his channel out. He's lives in Chicago. We call him the Chicago Shredder, is what we call him. And he's an amazing guitar player. Very, very, very knowledgeable man when it comes to guitars and gear. I mean, he knows his stuff. And he's helped me a lot with different little guitar issues I've had in the past, man. It's just, and everything that he's told me has always been right, and it's always worked. You know, he had sent me a video that he had done, a test run, if you will. He had done a test run on StreamYard, and he was trying out this new plugin, and it's from Eventide, right? And it's the Eventide H949 Harmonizer. Now, I do know that when you say Harmonizer, and in the word Eventide, I do know that Eddie Van Halen used a lot of Eventide products, and especially in the 90s, during the balance era of Van Halen and stuff like that, and to help, because Eddie was always, his tone and his sound was always evolving. It was always changing, but it was always changing for the better. The only time I didn't like his tone, I don't know, not like is a strong word. The only time I wasn't crazy about his tone was on Van Halen 2. I wasn't crazy about his tone there. I thought it was dialed back a lot from the first album. It didn't have as much punch to it. I was kind of like, damn, man. Like, he just went and turned it back a lot. And I was like, wow. But anyway, it's Eddie. He made it work. And that's just my dumbass opinion. But anyway, I do know in the 90s he started using some harmonizers from Eventide. And he would kind of get what they call like a detune kind of effect. And it would give his sound like this wide, warm, stereo sound. And it just, you know, and, you know, I didn't pay that much attention back in the day when he was doing that. But it wasn't until R2 started bringing that to my attention and within the past couple of years. But anyway, he sent me this little test run video that he did. It wasn't a public video. It was just a unlisted thing. And I was outside. I was cutting. This was last weekend. I was cutting my grass, and I had my earbuds on, and I'm out there cutting, and I'm listening to his video, right? And he's like, testing. This is the test one of the Eventide Harmonizer H949, and he's talking, you know, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then he hits a chord, boom, and you can just hear it. The sound. I was like, good Lord! And it's the big wide stereo, and it kind of circles around. It kind of swirls, has that slow kind of swirl to it, where it kind of goes from the left to the right, and then back over again, really, really slow. But man, that reached out and just grabbed me like that, and I said, oh my God, that sounds amazing. What is he using, you know? Because for years, man, I've always been trying to get a decent tone when I go live, when I'm playing. With this setup here, with this mixer and everything, I really can't get that quality sound. It's okay for what it is, but it's not. We'll get into that in a minute. Anyway, so, and I sent him a message because he had sent me this on WhatsApp. And I sent him an audio message, and I said, R2, what are you using, man? What is that? I said, it stood out so much. I mean, my ears are pretty good, man. I mean, they're not the best, but they pick up on stuff pretty good. And I could tell what I was hearing was something that I really haven't heard before when it comes to a live sound, as far as this internet stuff is concerned. And I said, man, that sounds amazing. And so I sent him the audio message, and it was a little bit later, and it wasn't long, I guess maybe 30 minutes. He sent me a message back. He said, man, that is the Eventide H949, I hope I got that right, Harmonizer plug-in. And I thought, my first thought was, oh man, a plug-in, oh man. And I thought to myself, well, you've messed with plug-ins before. You got a stereo, kind of a stereo delay plug-in that I got. Actually, it was free. I got it off of YouTube sometime last year, and I was kind of nervous about downloading that because I was like, man, is this going to have some kind of virus in it or something? But it was legit. And I did my research, and it was something for it would work for the Cubase software, and it works. And I was like, wow. So I understand how plugins work. I got the basic understanding of that. And he said it was the Eventide Harmonizer plugin. I said, oh my God, man. And he was kind enough to share it with me. And a lot of people, now I haven't run across any of these people, but I have noticed some channels you watch, man, you might leave in the comments, hey man, what are you using to get that sound? Or, a lot of people, they don't want to share that with you. They think it's, it's a secret. I'm like, dude, what? I had this big falling out with this one person years ago over something like that. And I thought everything was fine. And that dude flipped out, man. He wigged out and he literally lost his crap over all that. And I was like, good Lord. That's a whole nother story altogether. But, anyway, so I've dealt with weird people with this subject matter. But R2 was cool, man. He said, yeah, he goes, if you go, he gave me the link. He said, if you go to this, Eventide, H949harmonizer.com, whatever it was, I'm sure you could Google it and it'd take you right to it. And he said, you want to get to H949, you want to download that. It's a free download for 30 days. And I said, okay. I said, because I was still outside cutting the grass. Again, this was like last Friday. And I said, man, does that work with Cubase? And he looked for me. I said, I'm out here working in the yard. Can you just let me know? He answered me back. He goes, yep, it works with Cubase and it works with he sent me a list of the DAWs that it was compatible with. And I said, oh, that's awesome, man. That's great. So that night, I came in here after all my stuff was done. And I went on there and I downloaded the plugin. And and I got it onto my, he sent me a picture of how he has his settings. And speak of the devil, there he is. There is the Chicago Shredder right now. R2, you must have heard me talking about you, brother. There's the man right there who's been so kind to help me out for so long. R2, what is happening, man? I'm talking about you, man, but of course, it's in a good way. I'm telling everybody how you were so kind to help me out, man, with the Harmonizer. And I don't know if you just jumped in or you've been here the whole time. I don't know. But so he gave me the link. I went on the Eventide site, downloaded the plugin. It's a 30-day free trial, and they give you the I guess you call it the mono version of the Harmonizer, and they give you what they call a dual Harmonizer, stereo, right? And as soon as I got it on my DAW and I put it on a track, and like I said, I have the settings like he has it, R2 has, because I'm going by what he told me, because everything he's told me in the past has never been wrong. So, and I said, okay, I'm gonna adjust mine or set mine up the way he has his set up. And and when I'm on my DAW, the plug-in or the effect is off, and then so I'm playing a couple of chords. I'm like, yeah, that sounds that's my sound. I like the way that sounds. And then I clicked it on, and it went whoom, and I said, oh my God. And I could tell a difference right away. It was like, damn. And so it was really cool, man. R2 says his ears were ringing. There you go, man. That's it, man. That's it. Andrew saying hey to R2. Yeah, he's a cool dude, Andrew. He's a good one to get to know, man, when it comes to gear and guitar playing in general. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So when I had that, here's the cool thing. I don't care if it's a new pedal, if it's a new guitar, if it's a new effects processor, when you get something that elevates your tone, your overall sound, and it jazzes you up, man, you're like, oh man, you know the thing that it does the most, and inspires you to play. And especially when you get past a learning curve, when you figure something out, that inspires you to play too. Jim Guidry, my friend in Louisiana, has been talking to me about some things that he's finally, some hurdles he's been able to jump over. And he says, man, that makes me want to play. I was like, I knew it, man. I said, once you kind of conquer those hurdles, you feel good. And you're like, okay, let me play. We got Miss Janice. Miss Janice, what is going on? How are you? Let's give Miss Janice a round of applause. Hey, Miss Janice, how are you doing? Miss Janice Lawler in the chat. Thank you very much for being here. She says she's here for a bit, and then she might have to scoot. That's fine. Anybody that can jump in for just a little bit, I'll take that over nothing at all. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you very much.
As R2 says, simmer down over there. Simmer down. But yeah, the Eventide Harmonizer plugin, it's a home run. You get it for 30 days free, and then after that, it's $199.99, $200. So that will definitely be a plugin that I will purchase when my 30-day free trial is up. I'm just wondering how do they know? Well, wait a minute. There's a couple things you have to fill out when you download that, so that's probably how they figure it out. When your 30 days is up, I guess it puts like a block on it or something. I don't know. But hey, Mr. Mike Morrison, what is going on, man? Let's give Mike a round of applause. He says, "Hey Joe, how's it going, brother? Going pretty good, man. How are you doing?" And there's Mr. James Lau. He's jumping in the chat. Hey, Mr. Lau, how you doing? And Mr. Morrison, thank y'all very much. Thank you for being here. And I have to say, Mr. Lau's, what do you call it? Your picture there. That reminds me of something that I bought early this morning. I'm a sucker for different things I see on Facebook. And because they have a lot of ads on there, and it's all stuff that I've looked up like Guitar Center, stuff with my smartphone, different companies that pop up on your Facebook feed. If it caters, your phone knows what you look at as far as stuff to buy, and that right there, Mr. Lyle's picture, that there was a hat that come up. I can't remember the name of the company, but it was a ball cap, and it's got the little metal like buckle on the back, or what do you want to call it. But the picture on the front of the hat is a guitar pick, and it's that color scheme right there. And I said, man, and you got to choose what color of the hat you wanted. You could get gray, red, black, or whatever. And of course, I thought black looked the best because my EVH hat is wore out. And I said, man, I want to get that hat. And I think with everything included, it was like $30. So it'll be here. It says 5 to 7 days. That'd be business days. So it'll probably be toward either the end of next week or beginning of the week after that. So I'm looking forward to that hat. And I saw Mr. Lyle's picture there that made me think about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I got that Eventide Harmonizer, that plug-in, and that's when I decided to make an instrumental to try to use in the film. Don't know if I'll be able to use it. There is a part of it that's used in the trailer in the very, very beginning, before the copyrighted song kicks in. You hear a little bit of that, but it's just very short, 10 seconds or something. That's what, like I just told you, once you you get something that elevates your tone or whatever it is, it makes you want to play. Here we go, right here. R2, R3 locking that. Him and I are on the same wavelength. He goes, That Eventide plugin is a must. I can't play without it now. Me neither, brother. We've exchanged messages all last week about how it sounds, and it's just, I mean, it's that 90s Eddie Van Halen tone. I mean, it's, if you have a decent tone already and you add that plug-in, man, whew. I mean, it's like, it don't matter what you play, it just makes your tone sound that much better. But that's the brilliance of Eddie Van Halen. I think R2 said back in the day, Eddie Van Halen used the actual Eventide Harmonizer, the actual hard units, and I think he used two in his, I guess, the wet, dry, wet setup, so he could get the stereo thing. Well, with these plugins, it allows you to get that same effect, but from a plugin, and it's just, it's incredible. So this is really my first Eventide product. No, it ain't. No, it's not. That's a lie. That's not right. I do have the micro pitch pedal. Now, I got to give credit to where credit is due on this. The micro pitch Eventide pedal, I mean, when those came out, let's see, about 4 years ago, that's when I noticed them. My brother Jim Guidry and R2 have those pedals, and plus I heard on YouTube how good those pedals were, and I was like, oh, they're amazing. They'll make your tone do this and that, and it has all these different delays, and which I know it does, but there's something I'm missing with that micro pitch pedal. There's something I'm missing, because I put it at the end of my chain here. When I had two pedal boards, I put it at the end of the chain. I got it coming, two cables, left and right coming out, and they give you, I think there's 4 presets on there, and then you can take your USB cable and hook it up to your computer and download more fantastic presets. Well, the thing that got me, and this is where I'm guilty of this. I will not spend a lot of time, especially with a pedal, trying to unlock its potential. Okay. Because to me, I'm a plug and play kind of guy. I mean, to me, I want something when I plug it up, I want it to work. I shouldn't have to dick around with something for a long period of time, and I just lose my inspiration. I'm like, the hell with it. But I did buy one of those micro pitch pedals, and got it from Sweetwater, and so I plugged it up to my rig, and I was like, I'm missing something, because I don't see nothing spectacular about this pedal at all. It's just, so anyway, I packed it away on one of my old pedal boards. But when I got this other Eventide plug-in, I was like, whoa, because my buddy Jim said that you can get that same effect in that micro pitch pedal. You just got to go in there and unlock its potential, so to speak, on the computer. And I just like, man, I don't feel like dealing with all that, man. But he's got one and he loves it. He took the time to diagnose his, and I didn't. I was lazy. I was like, man, if it don't work out of the box like it should, I don't want to mess with all this stuff. But so this is my second Eventide product. I was on the fence about it until I heard R2's his video that he sent me, the test audio run, and I was like, whoa, my God, man. I said, that micro pitch, it didn't do that. Well, I couldn't figure it out. I'm not saying it doesn't do it, but I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, so now I'm like R2, I can't go without it now, because I'll have it in my DAW and I'll click it off, the Eventide Harmonizer plugin. I'll cut it off, and I'm like, yeah, that's just not, it's just, it doesn't sound as rich and full. It sounds okay, especially this Headrush Prime unit. It sounds amazing, but the Eventide H949 Harmonizer plugin is like the cherry on top. It just sweetens the pot just enough, and I'm like, whoa, man. So I'm the same way too, R2. I can't be without it. So when that 30-day trial is up, take my money, ching ching, take my money, baby, because it's they will get $200 from me, that's for sure. But yeah, man, I'm telling you. Let's see. I did do okay, here's another thing too. R2 is we talked this past week, and he's trying to get his setup going so he can go live on his channel using StreamYard. StreamYard is what I'm using right now. to stream this this broadcast. For me, everybody's different. Okay, everybody's setup is different. So I'm not putting down anything that people use to run their broadcast. I just know for me, StreamYard seems to downgrade the audio quality of when I'm playing. It's just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's their software they use for their site or whatever, but it just, and I'm going to share this with you. I pulled up, I did 2 test runs, okay, and I did a test run on StreamYard using the Eventide, my whole setup using that, and then I did another test run, but instead of using StreamYard, I used OBS, and to me the difference is night and day. I mean, you can really I can hear a major difference. I mean, my audio is so crisp and clear through OBS as when I go through here through StreamYard. It's really constricted, man. It's almost like, you know, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with back in the day before StreamYard was a thing. We did this thing called Hangouts, all right? And I can go back on my channel years and years ago, and I'm sitting in my old music room, and I'm sitting in front of my an amp, and I'm playing, and the laptop's sitting there, and I'm playing, and it sounds like it's underwater. The first 2 seconds sounds okay, and then after that, it's just all gargling underwater. That's what it sounds like it's wanting to do on StreamYard, even though I don't have noise cancellation. I don't have none of that checked. You're supposed to leave all that off. And, I mean, you can hear the guitar. It's okay, but to my ears, I can definitely hear a difference. And the quality just isn't there. But when I did I turned right around, cut off that stream, started a new unlisted stream on OBS, and I was like, wow, you can hear a huge difference, especially when you're just, you know, paying attention to the audio portion, right? I got those lined up. We can check it out. Let's see. R2 has a comment here. He says, I have the micro pitch pedal too, but that plug-in is just like, wow, I'm so happy I stumbled upon it. I love sharing my gear finds with you. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm very happy you shared it with me too, man, because if you hadn't sent me that test run that you did, I would have never known. I'd have never known. And like I said, when you're sitting there going, check one, and then you hit that first chord on your guitar, I was like, oh man. So yeah, it made me. I was out there cutting grass, and I literally stopped the mower. I was like, whoa. I was like, rewind that back and listen to that again. And it's like, damn. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. Just to, if you just really listen hard, okay? If you have earbuds in right now, that'd be the best thing. Because that's where it's going to stand out the most. If you're listening on a phone, like just through your speakers on your phone or your laptop, you're not going to notice the difference. Only if you have earbuds on, you will be able to tell this difference. Let's see. Okay. Make sure I'm doing the right thing. Audio turned on. Yes, we want the audio turned on. Okay, let's open this up here. Let me go back to the StreamYard side to make sure. Yeah, I gotta fix that. I don't like that angle. There we go. That's better. So you can see right here. This was from yesterday, and I'm just in the room here, and this is just a test run, right? And I'm playing along with Van Halen's Top of the World because that's really the era that this Harmonizer deal stands out to me on that whole Carnal Knowledge album. I could be wrong, but to me, that's where it stands out. So I'm going to play a little bit of this, and I want you to listen and tell me what you think here. Here we go. Okay, so you see what I'm saying there? Let's see. Where am I at? Here I am. And you can hear it. I mean, you can hear the music, you can all that, but to me it's on that cusp of wanting to be gargly, and it's constricted, right? It's just has that. I can tell it big time, especially because when I was doing these test runs, and I had what I'm hearing when I'm actually playing in the moment, everything sounds killer. Because I want to use my other setup when I go live, but going through StreamYard, like I said, it just degrades the audio quality. So when I'm actually playing, I think R2, we had talked about this. When I'm playing in the moment, it sounds killer. When I listen to the playback, it's just kind of like, I was like, it's okay, but it's not quite like I hear when I'm doing it live. Okay, you heard that one. All right, that was with my current setup that I love to use. So now we're going to listen to this next test run, and this is me going through OBS, okay, and not StreamYard. This is OBS. So let's see. Let me go back to the StreamYard side and make sure that. Okay, let me go back over here and maximize that picture. Do I have it? Let's see. There we go. Okay, now this is the test run with the OBS. Again, this is going to be with Top of the World. Now listen to how much crisp and clearer the audio is here. It's night and day. You can really hear that harmonizer. If you listen really close, you can hear it, that stereo swell that kind of slowly goes from the left to the right and right to left. You can hear that if you listen really close. That's the Eventide H949 plugin. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's freaking night and day, man. And that's why I do test runs all the time. I was in here last night, man. This is no BS. I was in here last night for an hour and 20 minutes. Not going over my sound, but I was going over the songs I have in my MP3 player here. And these are the same songs that I've got loaded in this thing. I've had these songs in here for over a year. And I just keep playing these songs. And then I pick 6 tracks, right? I was doing that last night. I was wanting to go live last night. And I was wanting to play. I was like, I'd love to play just 6 songs, man, and talk with people. Had too many stumbling blocks, man. And I would, play a little bit and then stumble. Nope, start again. Test runs, man. It's all about the test runs. You got to do test runs. And it makes a difference, man, when you do them. Okay, let's see what anybody is saying about that little example right there. Miss Janice says completely. You hear a difference. Yes, I'm telling you, man. You can tell. R2 R3 says OBS sounds better in all caps. Yes, you can tell the difference, man. It's almost worth the trouble to learn OBS. I mean, just basic OBS operation. I mean, for that step up in quality, man. If I can do it, anybody can, because I'm not the most tech savvy person around. Let's see. Andrew Knox, definitely not as dark sounding. There you go. That's right, Andrew. Yes. And Miss Lawless says definitely a better mix. Yeah. See there you go. So you saw, or you heard for yourself. You can hear the difference. And so I started to. I was afraid of OBS, man. Not to sound weird, but I was like, man, I don't know. Is OBS worth messing with? I don't know. And then I would get on YouTube and I would look at other channels, guitar channels, music channels, whatever. And when they would be playing something, not that they were playing live, I don't see a lot of that, but every once in a while you do. Well, there was this one guy that was playing live on this channel, and I could tell he was going through OBS, and he had a synthesizer. He was like, what do you call it? Doing loops, right? He was creating loops on the fly. Excuse me. He had a synthesizer set up, and he had his acoustic guitar behind him, and he had a bass guitar, and he was live. Now, this wasn't pre-recorded. This was live, and I won't never forget it. It was late one night. I was like, man, what's this cat doing? And he had his, you could see his loop station over here. It was nice. I've looked those things up. They run about $600-700. They're nice. And he started doing this little riff on this little, like a mini keyboard kind of deal. And he started doing that, and he looped it, and he come back, and he put he did the bass on the little keys too. Then he come back and started, obviously this is a song he's wrote, and he just, went ahead and built it up again. Starts doing his guitar parts, and then he cuts that, and everything's starting to stack up, right? And then he gets his mic, and he's singing, and I was like, holy crap. I mean, the sound was, that's what got me, man. The sound was amazing. The way he had his sound dialed up for live streaming his music. Samuel Pipsy James, what is going on, my friend? He says, hey, driver, what's up, Sam? Sam is a guitar builder. I'm going to give you some props here, Sam. He's a retired truck driver. What's up, driver? He's a guitar builder. He builds some amazing, beautiful Strats. Just all kinds of guitars, man. And I was like, holy crap. He builds them and ships them off. I don't know if they're customers or they're family members. I'm not quite sure, but they're beautiful. And I'm like, my God, man. So his desire and passion for building guitars has inspired me to try to do some of my own things, and he's a very talented individual. Thank you for jumping in, Sam. I appreciate it, brother. What was I saying? But that guy that was live, and he wasn't on, what platform was he using? Maybe it was YouTube, but he sounded incredible. And I was like, my first thought was, how do I get my setup to sound like that? Well, I never came close to it, and until recently. I'm kind of in that area a little bit, but not quite as good as what he had dialed in, because you know why his is so good? Because he's done his homework, man. He's done test run after test run after test run. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, this is how you do a test run, okay? So you set this like you're set up right now, like you're live on your laptop, whatever, however you got it. Record, go live, but make sure it's unlisted, not public. And hit record, and you play your stuff, whatever. Then you hit end broadcast, let it upload to your channel. Don't make a real long video. Make it maybe at the most 2 minutes, minute and a half, 2 minutes, because the shorter the video, the faster it'll upload and process on your channel. So that's how you do a test run, man. You sit there and just do that and go back and watch it with watch and listen with earbuds. Don't listen just to the speakers of your phone. Use earbuds to listen to the quality of your audio. And you just keep doing test runs, man, until you get your stuff dialed in to what you like. And you'll tell a difference if it's better. You'll be able to tell. R2 chimes in with a comment. Joe has taught me that the test run, there we go, test runs are important. Thank you, Joe, for the advice, because it will prepare me for playing guitar live. Yeah, man, absolutely, my pleasure. And that's why I say, man, test runs are the utmost importance. Have you ever seen somebody go live when they're getting ready to play guitar or whatever they're doing, and the first thing they can y'all hear me? How we sound? We sound okay? Hey, tell me what this sounds like. Are we okay? We sound good? Are we good? Are we good? They do that all. I'm like, what are you doing, you idiot? What are you doing? If you would have done a test run and did that before you went on the air and make yourself look like a jackass, you would know the answer to that already. You know, it drives me crazy. Brother Jim, if you're still here, you know what when you sent me that message last night about a certain thing you saw online that drove you crazy with the that this is the same type of thing with this. It's like there's nothing worse than when somebody's going live and they're a deer in the headlights. They're like, huh? They have no idea what they're doing. So you just make yourself look stupid. But if you do test runs, man, and just pay attention to what you're doing, you can make leaps and bounds in live audio for streaming. It makes all the difference in the world. And so when you do go live, like R2 said, when you do go live, you'll be ready. So the main thing I like to try to do, man, and I'm not saying I'm not a big head or nothing at all. The only way you're going to get better at anything, practice. That's all there is to it. I've had a couple of people in the past say, man, how did you learn all those songs? Actually, there's not that many songs, but to the average person, it sounds like a lot. But, if you're a real down-to-earth working musician, which I'm not, but if you're an actual working musician, 50 or 60 songs is something people will laugh at that. An actual musician knows anywhere from 250 to 300 songs like that, and he can play them. He or she can play them and don't have to sit there and go, is that a C or a G? Where does that start at? Oh, it ain't nothing like that. They just say, oh, what? Best of Me, Foo Fighters? Okay, here you go. Poop. And they start. There's none of this hesitation. There's none of this, no nervousness, none of that. And one of the worst things you can do as well if you stream live, this is just from what I've seen from other people. I'm not the know-all be-all of this. It's just stuff that I've noticed, okay? The worst thing you can do when you're playing is to look directly in the camera when you're playing. Don't look directly in the camera when you're playing. Look to the side, look up, look down, look over here. Do not look straight into that camera when you're playing music. Now, if you're talking, that's different. That's fine. And but that's the worst thing you do. Sit there and they're just looking. They just, what are you doing? It's like you don't do that. Don't do that, man. So do your test runs, man. That's all. And you just go over your set list, go over your songs, man, and practice them over and over. I started with 3 songs on this MP3 player, 3. And I said, okay, I'm going to learn these 3 songs in a certain order. Then I mixed them up, played them from back to front to back. I said, okay, I feel good about that. Then I turned 3 songs to 6. Now it gets a little bit more difficult, but still, if you're in a band, or if you've ever been in a band, or you've ever wanted to be in a band, 6 songs is nothing. If you've ever played in front of people in a band situation, 6 songs that's only half a set. It's nothing. So it's R2. That's looking straight to the camera is kind of creepy. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of strange. But I see people do that a lot. I don't think they mean to. I call it the mirror effect, or just, when you look in the mirror and when you're trying to get ready, you looking directly at yourself. And I think that person does not realize that when they're live on camera, unless you're talking, that's different. Yes, look straight to the camera when you're talking, but when you're playing music, don't never look straight into the camera, man. And but yeah, so I just started learning these songs, man. And then if I don't stay on top of these songs, man, if I don't practice them on a regular basis, like last night, I came in here and I said, well, let me just play these 6. I picked out 6 and then boom, 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 boom. And I started and I was like, okay, that went good, but can I go through them again? Went through them again, started having hiccups. I was like, damn. Went through them again and again and again. And it got to the point where I just was not happy with my overall performance. I was like, one thing that was working against me was fatigue. I was tired, and working the job that I work, man, working the job that I do, fatigue is my next door neighbor. It's just the way it is. It's hard to have a lot of energy for anything. But playing songs with these backing tracks, man, you got to remember what the changes are. You got to get the right tone that you want dialed up if you want to do that. It's just all those little things, man. And so if I don't stay on top of practicing these songs, it starts to slip. And I was like, damn, man. So, well, you might say, well, what are you doing it for? And then, because deep down inside, I am a musician. Yeah, I drive a truck for a living. That's how I make my money. But my passion is music, man. That's what I've always loved to do. I've always loved to play guitar. And I've always wanted to learn this. The songs that I have on my MP3 player are the songs that inspired me to play guitar to begin with when I was 16. Anything from Bryan Adams to Van Halen to Queen to all the good stuff. You know what I mean? Do I listen to modern music? No, I do not. I do not listen to modern music at all. But so I have all these songs downloaded on my MP3 player, man, and I just, I try to pick a batch here and there and play them. I'll record myself again with a test run theory. I'll sit there and do that with my current setup, and I go through OBS, and I'm like, man, okay. And it's not an egotistical thing. That's not what it is. It's practice, and I'll do 6 to 8 songs. And then when Friday gets here, I'll go outside, get on my mower, start cutting my grass. I got my phone in my shirt pocket, and I got my wireless earbuds on, and I'll punch up that test run that I just talked about. It's unlisted with the 6 or 8 songs that I practiced the night before, and I'll listen to that while I'm cutting the grass, First and foremost, I'm listening to the audio quality, then to the overall performance of the songs, That's how you get good, man. I'm not gonna say the guy's name because that wouldn't be right, but there was a dude on Facebook, and I know he don't follow me on this stuff, but he had put some post on his Facebook page, and he's always putting a picture of his Wolfgang special, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a diehard EVH fan, but then he puts these posts a picture of his amp, the drums, like his band's getting ready to have a practice, right? And he goes, yeah, band practice tonight, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's wonderful, man. You're playing music, that's great. So I was like, wow, man, they must be doing a lot of practicing and getting ready. He put a video up, or somebody, I don't know who filmed on his phone, but I guess a friend or whatever. And he's on this little stage with somebody else. And his amp, he's sitting on top of his amp. And I guess it's a little 212 or 210 little combo amp. He's sitting on his amp, and he's like this, and he's looking around, and he looks like he is scared to death, and he's doing this, and he's tuning his guitar, and I'm like, why is he sitting on his amp? I'm like, dude, stand up. What are you doing? And I don't know. I didn't watch much of it, so maybe he eventually stood up. I don't know. But this is what turned me off like that. You know what it said on the caption above the video? Pardon the sloppiness and the mistakes of this. It's just been a while since I played in front of a crowd. Okay, all right. But if you have to start your your sentence off, pardon the mistakes or the sloppiness of what I'm doing, if you have to start with that, you don't need to put up a video, bro. You don't need to take your ass back to the woodshed and practice. Don't put that out there, man. So people can go, oh, let's give him a free pass. He said, sorry for the mistake. Well, you don't need to. What are you doing? You ain't practiced enough. That's the level. That's what I put myself in. I'm like, I'm not putting this stuff out till I'm ready. You know, that's just how it is. It depends on how serious you take yourself, man. Do you take yourself serious or not? If you do, and you want to be really good, get your ass in there and practice, man. That's with anything. Don't matter if it's martial arts or cooking or music or whatever. You know, you're not going to rise above the pack unless you practice. That's what separates you from the normal crowd, you know. But I was like, I felt kind of bad for the guy for a second, you know. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying because he kept posting all these pictures for like the past few weeks, you know, band practice, this and that. He kept working it up, you know, putting it out there. He's the one that's putting it out there, you know. He's putting it out there for everybody to see. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. And, man, when he was on that stage, he looked like he was scared to death. And I was like, dude, my God, don't let your nerves get to you like that, man, because they'll tear you down every time if you let it happen. But, yeah, pardon the mistakes and the sloppiness. I was like, okay, never mind. Click. And I got off there, you know. So, because I'm hard on myself, you know. So if I'm hard on myself, I'm going to look at that same kind of discipline at somebody else. If they're going to put it out there and they want people to hear it, don't expect me to be all, oh, give you a free pass. No, it better be good. If you're going to put stuff out there, it better be good. Because if it's not, guess what? See, that's just the way it is. You know, I mean, that's the thing with social media, man. Everybody gets a trophy. You know, with stuff like this. Everybody, just because they showed up, they get a trophy. Nah, not with me. That's what's wrong today, man. Like, come on now. If you're going to put the work in, put the work in. And then you'll be glad that you did, you know, because when you do go live, whether it's on here or in an establishment somewhere. Look at Rockin' Dave Byron. Anybody know who Rockin' Dave Byron is, man, on YouTube? That guy is playing live like 6 times a week, right? I mean, he is playing live. Every time you turn around, that man's playing live, and he's having the time of his life, you know, because he's put the time in. So he's got past the deer in the headlights look. You know, he's comfortable in his own skin. He plays, he throws down, and his passion for playing live, it's so nice to see that, because number one, he can actually play. Number two, he's in the moment. When you see him, he is in it, man. He's not a deer in the headlights. He's in it. Let's see. R2. What's that now? Trophy, yellow, smiling sons of. You know what I'm saying, man. I mean, I'm not trying to. That's just real talk from me. You know, you don't hear me say that much, but man. Hey, Mr. Ted, what's going on, man? Let's give Ted a round of applause. Thank you for being here. He says that he says, I practice all the time, but unfortunately most of the guys I play with don't practice, and it shows. Really frustrating. Time to get a new group of guys, man. If you're putting your time in and they're not, it makes everybody look bad. Really, that's my honest opinion. I mean, I'm not, and I know that's not an easy situation, man, but we've all been there. I've been in bands. Look, I got kicked out of bands before, way back in the day, man. I was booted out. You know why? I wasn't good enough. That's just the way it was. And this is way before social media. I was in my early 20s. Let's see. I was 21 years old. And I got with a group of people that were younger than me. They were, This is the truth, man. I'm not making this up. Most of them were seniors in high school. I think one or two of them was out of school. I think the other two were still in school, high school. So to me, that was the first. I was like, holy crap, man. I was 21. And these kids are like 18. And I went to back in the day, there was a music store where I grew up called Reliable Music. And I saw their ad. You know how you go to Guitar Center and you see I call it the cork board, and it's got that stuff, It's funny to look at that now because it takes me back to when I was a teenager, all those years ago. In search of a guitar player, must have own equipment and transportation and drug-free, serious inquiries only. And I'm like, well, if you're putting this up on a board, you're not going to get no serious inquiries, man. It's just not going to, you're just not going to get that. That's just the bottom feeder level for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part. I'd been through that and I got tired of that. I was like, yeah, whatever. But anyway, I got with these people, and I was kind of like, man, I don't know, am I too old to be with these people? But I saw the ad at the music store called, I think the person I talked to was the bass player, yeah. So this would have been in 1990, 91, in that ballpark. So, and we talked to them, and I liked what they had to say, and they said, yeah, come over here and just check us out. The first night I went there, I found out really quick. It was, number one, it was a really nice neighborhood, so I knew that they were too young to have a house. It was the drummer. It was a female drummer. I can't remember her name, but she was living with her mama, and her mom was divorced, and it's a nice-ass house, man. And I got there, and the mom came to the door. She was super nice. She goes, you must be Joe. I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, oh, they're upstairs. Just go up, and it's the door on the right, whatever. Well, when I went there the first time, it was just the bass player, the guy I talked to, and the drummer. And like I said, it was her mom's house. So we sat there and we talked. I brought my guitar and my amp, little crate amp I had at the time. I didn't have no kind of serious equipment. It was just the crate amps have the 10-inch speaker in or whatever. They're really loud, but they're, just the way it was back then. So that's all I had. Maybe a pedal or two. And I remember the jam room, I guess he used to, they turned it into, like, I guess before it was like I don't know if it was like a dance area, because she had, the girl had mirrors, full length. I mean, that whole side of the wall was nothing but mirrors, and it had the wood bar attached to it, so if you was doing ballet or something, but there was carpet on the floor. It wasn't a hard floor. So I thought that was cool. I said, man, when you practice in here, you can look at these mirrors and you can kind of get the big picture of what everybody's doing. That's pretty cool. I like that. Well, I got there and they said, well, can you play something? That's the big thing. Play something. And then when somebody puts you on the spot, you always go blank. Play something. Oh, shit, man. What do you want me to play? So back then, I didn't know. All I was doing just a bunch of riffs and a lot of my own stuff. That's another cop-out people do on YouTube. This is an original. Okie doke. And it sounds like garbage, It's like, yeah, okay. But anyway, the guy goes, go ahead and hook up and play something. I said, okay. And the only thing I could half-ass do was the first little bit of the intro for Wicked Sensation by Lynch Mob. And that's all I could do. That was it. But that was enough for them to go, whoa, you're in, like that. And I thought, holy crap. And they were like really excited, And I was like, if they only knew, I can't even play this damn song, but I didn't say nothing. I was like, okay, cool. They said, you're in, man, be here, whatever day for practice, I said, okay. And I show up with my crate amp and my whatever guitar I had then, I don't know, and probably that BC Rich or something. And I get there and I meet the other people, the singer, and the guitar player. They only had one guitar player at the time, and he was a young guy, but man, he could play. I was embarrassed, man. I mean, he was kind of short, but man, he could play. He just had, you could just, when you hear somebody that knows what they're doing on their instrument, you know right off the bat, you know that it wasn't like a tink, tink, oh, I messed up, tink, tink. Nah, this guy, he had feel, he had rhythm, he was coordinated, and I was just like, oh my God. And I won't ever forget it, the song, what was that song that just came out? Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes. That, of course, they covered that song. I think it was Otis Redding originally done it way back in the day, but the Black Crowes covered that song. I love playing that song here. They played that song, the whole band, right? And the girl counts it off. Tss, tss, you know, bum, 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 bum. They start playing it, and I'm just sitting there going, oh, crap. You know, and they play it, and the singer, he's got soul, he's singing, and they're all just, you know, hey, little thing, let me light you. And I'm just like, God almighty, you know? I'm like, oh, man, I got my work cut out for me. So I kept watching the guitar player. I kept watching his hands, you know? And he's holding a chord, and he's looking at me, right here, right here. Okay, move here, move here. And he kept pointing, and he had to go back to playing, and he kept pointing in his hands. And I was like, I couldn't keep up. I was just like damn. So they let me tag along for like, I think it was a month and a half. And they got this gig. They got this gig at some big college function somewhere. I can't remember what it was. It was this big thing. And I was excited, man. I told my parents and everything. I said, yeah, and this was like my first gig, you know. And but I was nervous, man, because I knew deep down inside, I said, I don't know these songs, man. I don't know them. I mean, they gave me a piece of paper with all the whole set list. Well, I didn't have a way of, back then, I didn't have a way of practicing these songs. Even if I tried playing them, I couldn't remember them because I was sitting by myself, and I was like, well, how does this go again? I need to watch that dude's hands again. I'd go back to practice, same thing. The guy was sitting there pointing in his hands, this, and I'd be like, oh, yeah. Well, I kept catching myself watching him during the whole rehearsal. I kept watching him, and I didn't have no kind of stage presence. I was a deer in the headlights, you know. So about a month and a half goes by, and it was the night before the gig. I get a phone call the day before. I get a phone call, and I see, you know, back then you didn't have caller ID. You know, you didn't have smartphones. You didn't have cell phones. You just had your home phone. And I was living in an apartment with a then girlfriend back then. And I answered the phone and said, hello. And he said, hey, Joe, this is whatever. I don't even remember his name. This is so-and-so. I said, hey, man, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, man, you ready for tomorrow? You know, I'm pumping him up. You know, like, yeah, dude, they're ready. You're the one that's not ready, you know. And he goes, yeah, man, I need to talk to you. And just right then and there, the overall tone of his voice, that it was like a balloon letting all the air out. Just, I could just feel myself sinking, you know, like, oh, man. He goes, man, we're not going to be able to, this ain't going to work. And he was right. I wasn't ready. You know, I wasn't ready. But the part that stung the most was the day of the gig, which was the next day. They were up there rehearsing in their rehearsal space in the drummer's mother's house. And they had the door closed. The door was closed, and I went to the front door of the house, rang the doorbell, and the mom, that girl's mom, comes to the door, and she looked at me with this look like, I'm so sorry. Hey, Joe, I'm so sorry. Do you need some help carrying your stuff down? She was so sweet. I said, no, ma'am. I tried to be. I was like, no, ma'am, I'm cool. No, so I appreciate it, you know. But inside, I was broken, man, and it stung, you know. And the way the house was designed, when you walked in there, when you looked up, you saw it was like a wraparound inside balcony, if that makes sense. And so when I walked in, it was just this big room, and which was the living room, and then of course the bedrooms were in the back through the doors, or whatever. But it was just like you look up and saw this indoor balcony, you know, with the railing, and you go up the steps and you'd be on that balcony level walking around the different rooms up there. I guess that's where the bedrooms were up there. And they had the door closed, and they had my gear sitting outside the door in the little hallway there on that outside balcony. When I walked through inside that lady's house, I looked up and I saw my stuff, my guitar in the gig bag, and my amp and my cables were sitting right there outside the door, and you could just hear. You could, music is muffled when it's being indoors or whatever, and I was like, man, and I said, son of a bitch, man, I was like, damn. So you're right. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. R2 says, so you were fired. Yep, I was let go, and that's what I'm telling Ted. If you're around a group of wannabes, get out of there, man. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're not doing yourself no favors. Let's see. R2 says, if I'm not ready and it doesn't sound good, I will not post it. No excuses. That's there you go, man. And if you want to better yourself, that's how you have to be. And doctors, this is a crazy comparison, but doctors, when you go to a doctor or you have to see a specialist, I want to see somebody that knows their stuff, man, and he spent all those extra hours to get better at his profession. So I take, the reason I say that is because I take music very seriously. When I watch somebody else do it online, there's certain things I'm already looking for. I'm already, okay, are they doing this? Do they have their crap together? What, do they know they're in front of a camera? Are they relaxed? Are they, are they just scared to death? I mean, that stuff comes through, man. Whether people pay attention to it or not, it comes through. It does to me. But yeah, I was let go, man. I was let go, and it taught me a lesson. Practice. Get better. It's the. You don't get good by just half-assing it. You don't. And that's just the cut and dry of it right there. But it doesn't mean you won't make little mistakes. You're always going to have little hiccups and mistakes. But I wish I could see those guys now. I wonder if they've stuck with music or, where their path ended up going. I'd like to know that now. Let's see, how many people was in that? It was four of them. And when I came in for that month and a half, it was 5. Then it went back down to 4. But here's the cherry on top of that story. That same music store, Reliable Music, after they had fired me, that band, they done let me go, whatever. So you're looking at maybe, I don't know, man, 3 months had passed. I went to Reliable to get something, a pack of strings or something. I was always at Reliable, man, just hanging out, just like I do at Guitar Center now. I go to hang out and look at guitars, and I won't buy nothing. I would hang out. I want to buy stuff. Don't get me wrong, but especially back then, I didn't have the money to do all that. I just went and looked and hung out and watched people play guitars and try to learn something. Well, when I went this particular day, like this was a few months later, like I said, guess who was working there in the drum department? Yeah, that chick that was the drummer. Oh, let's see, what was her name? No, that's not her name. I thought I had it, but that wasn't her. Yeah, and when you walked in the main entrance of the store, you had to come in and then you had to take a right. Because if you went straight, that was the acoustic room, and that was as far as you could go. And it had like a sliding glass door. You take a left and come around the counter, and then you see all people playing guitars, and the drum section was further back over there past the guitars. But she was behind the main counter, and I just, for whatever, our eyes locked, and I looked, and she looked at me, and I could just see that look like, oh shit, that on her face. And when I saw her, I just turned my head, and I thought, bitch. That's what I thought, to be honest with you. But, that's wrong, man. But yeah, so she made it a point to ignore me, not to say, she didn't say nothing. So I'm assuming that little band had already fell apart, at that point. So, which I don't know. I don't know that to be a fact, but I kind of figured that might have been the case. I don't know. Let's see. R2 chimes in, man. He says, the drummer in that band played in Vixen. He's just making up a thing here. The drummer played in Vixen. The singer went to sing for the Black Crowes, and the guitar player played in Slaughter. Yeah, that's man. Yeah, they all had professional careers, and I ended up being a truck driver. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, it makes me wonder where their lives went after that. Just, I don't know. Not that it matters, but yeah, I thought that was so wild when I seen her at that music store, man. I was like, wow. And oh man, crazy times. Speaking of time, we've been on here for an hour and a half. Oh my God. So I just wanted to get on here and do this weekend review. Hopefully I can do another one of these next Saturday, I hope. Maybe. We'll see. And but things are moving along with the short film, like I said. And the trailer is ready. The trailer is ready to go. I just haven't released it yet. Excuse me, because I still have filming to do and a lot more editing and post-production, but the trailer is ready, so at least that part's done, and the poster art is done as well. That will be the thumbnail for the film when it comes out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So things are moving along with it. It's just I just got to fine-tune some more things, and there's a few more things I need to finish filming this week, hopefully. I hope. If I get it done this coming week, I'll be very, very happy. If not, it might take a couple of weeks. It might take a few. It's just hard to say right now because I got some stuff lined up with some people, and I'm having to see if it works for their schedule too. So, all right, man. R2R3, he says, good times, Joe. Good to see you live again. Yeah, man, I'm going to try to go live more often, especially something like this, and just chat with people if they want to partake. And, yeah, if anybody wants to join me, let me know, man. Hit me up, guitarman_jw@yahoo.com. You see my email address in the description of the video, I believe. Don't forget to check the links. We got trucker merch now. If you want to check out any of my music or any Joe Wentz Project apparel, it's there as well. All right? Thank you, everybody that stuck around this long. I really appreciate it very, very, very much. And I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. God bless. Take care. Stay cool on your stool. See you next time. Bye-bye.
She came in